Yeah, I think we are good to go. Just give me a heads up when. Um,
Yeah, we are live.
Perfect. Um, Hi everyone. Wishing you all a very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon based on the time zone that you hail from. And welcome to our website's call, probably the last website's call that we will be hosting for the year 2024. And I know it's already a holiday mode, but thank you so much for hopping in this evening or early in the morning if you hail from the central timing. A quick reminder. So, if you're someone who is joining this call for the very first time, or if you're someone who has been consistently joining our calls, we would request you to drop in your name, like a bunch of other folks are doing up here in the attendees section up here. Probably I'll drop a link for this in the chat section here. And you can see Vishal has already added the link for the meeting minutes. So all you have to do is click on it, come up here, and add your name. And that would suffice. So I'll quickly take a look at the number of participants that we have here and check if we've got some newcomers up in this call. And I can see Rohita is someone who's joining this particular call for the very first time. So Rohita, would you please pardon me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, and it would be wonderful if you could turn on your mic and introduce yourself. It could be something like, where are you from? What are you doing? What is the tech stack that you love? What do you expect from the community? Why are you here? And maybe what are you looking up to? So, yep. Uh, Looking forward to hear from you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rohita. I'm from SVC College of Engineering. Currently, I'm studying second year BTech. So I'm very enthusiastic to participate in the open sources and contribute my part. And I also enrolled for LFX mentorship. I feel like this would help in my journey of that, but the selection process is not started yet. I hope for the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing about yourself and introducing yourself, Shweta. It's amazing that you come up and act as an icebreaker for this session. Yep, looking forward to your application, and I assure you, you'll have a wonderful time throughout this entire journey of contributing with Layer 5, and we hope we can offer you the mentorship that you need. I will quickly move on to La Chowdhury. Please correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, and I definitely apologize. It's your last name, but it would be wonderful if you could introduce yourself. I assume it's your very first time joining this call. So looking forward to hear from you. It feels like you might have a microphone or an audio issue. So, for anyone who's a newcomer on this call, we'd appreciate if you could, if you happen to have some issue with your microphone or your camera, please go ahead and add your introduction or your name in the chat section. And with this, I think we have.
Hello, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned to me, sorry. So, yeah, hello, I'm Abdel Koudous Lajouji. You can pronounce my name Abdel. I'm 34, I'm from Paris, and I've worked on some issues, mainly some typo issues on the websites on Meshri. And I'm system architect. I have like 10 years of experience, more than 10 years. And I'm CNCF Kabersons also. And now I've taken the decision to make a little bit of contribution to the open source.
That sounds amazing. Welcome aboard. We hope you have a great time here, and really looking forward to the issues that you've been working on. You mentioned you're working on Meshri issues. We probably cover up the PRs that are open and the issues that are open in Meshri on our Wednesday calls. But a quick heads up for anyone present here: if you happen to have an open issue on either of these pages, which is our Layer 5 repository or our Meshri.io repository or the docs, or even insistent, Please feel free to add your topics if you haven't already, and we'd love to go through them and cover all of these topics up. Looking at the ticking clock that we have there, I assume we do have a few more newcomers, probably Jabari Brown. I again apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and Asif Khan. So, if you're a newcomer to this call, I would highly appreciate if the both of you could add your intros in the chat, and we'd love to get to know you better. Without any further ado, I would probably hop onto the very first website that we cover on our websites call, which is the layer5.io page. A bunch of you might have come across this page because this is one of our front-facing pages that a lot of contributors and folks usually come across. So we would be covering up any issue that has to deal with this particular page up here. Here's the repository. I'll probably add the link to our page and the repository in the chat section so that you can go ahead, check this repo out, and check the project out. So I guess the very first thing that we have up here, the item is from Sudhanshu. So Sudhanshu, if you're up and ready, do you mind sharing your screen and taking us through one after another all of these 3 issues that you've been working on?
Yeah, just give me.
Sure. Yeah, you can take like another 5 to 6 seconds. Otherwise, just give me a heads up and we can go ahead with Vivek and circle back to you.
No, I'm sharing this. Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yes.
Thank you so much for adding your intro up here in the attendee section, Asif. We would appreciate if you could do it in the chat. Thanks a bunch.
Okay, so there are few issues or not issues, like few warnings coming out in sorry. My right screen is being shared, right? The PR.
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
we can see, yes.
So like we have some warnings coming out, like when we make the site or run the development of the site or build. So one of the warning was of CSS conflict. So if I give the context, like we few months back we migrated to Gatsby version from V4 to V5. So during that we left few things behind, like I to move with Gatsby, and currently there are some issues of not I would say, but warnings were coming during this build. So one of this was CSS conflict. So what happens, like we have this plugin called Mini CSS Extract plugin, particularly, and this plugin like sometimes and like it allows you to like it sees that the order of the CSS imports are proper, and if there is something is not in order, then it gives the warning, and also the webpack doesn't allow does not automatically fix this thing, so we have to fix manually or set up any configuration that fix this issue or like hide these issues, because we were using fine CSS, there is not an issue, but like due to Gatsby V5 and few things were left behind because they were not upgraded with the current Gatsby V5, so they were keep occurring issues. So one of the fixes that I hope this you guys get the context of the issue. So one of the fix was that this this yeah. So one of the fix was this is like there was a carousel. This carousel was getting this theme or CSS styling from a third party or a package. So we have to order this properly and in every other places, because this was the one of the cause which was causing these warnings. Second, it doesn't fix the whole problem. Second was this setting the conflicts, like if I just select them. Yeah, Gatsby CSS warning. It kind of silencing also, but also like we have fixed this issue in one of the last PR, which is the ordering of carousel, and we doesn't have any harm for right now silencing them. So yeah, like I've silenced them, and yeah, the CSS extract plugin which we use, we just using this as a package. We doesn't use deeply anywhere this particular package extract plugin, or so there's also no harm, and few silencing few of these issues. So yeah, that has been the order has been few orders has been fixed, and also the this particular configuration has been added to fix the CSS conflict. If anybody has any questions, or so I'll move with another. So anybody like working on layer 5 sites, do ensure that you proper use CSS styling, because right now when we move to Gatsby 5, things are pretty much strict to use. It's just not that we can directly use a style and or like return it some anywhere we want. So be specific with that. I'll try to add this information in the contributing guidelines so it makes sense. Okay, so this was the another item was adds in some Gatsby flags. So Gatsby flags are like these are the configurations which Gatsby provide, right? One of the Gatsby flag is which we can add these three, and which is that filing download cache. So whenever you build any build the layer 5 website, so it always creates new dependencies, creates node modules, right? Dependencies. So what we need, and Gatsby's new version provided to add this preserve file download cache. So once you provide this, like when you once build the layer 5 site, it will cache your node modules, your dependencies. So every time when, unless until there is a change in your packages, it will not run like every time, and it will save the build time. And also this detect node mutation. So it is kindly a normal like debugging for issues. So it's not related to that, just debugging any issues if we come through the build time. And partial iteration is a thing which is improve the performance of like whenever you might see some blocking time happens whenever there is a large files and you try to build the site. So it blocks, like it takes, and you will get the warning like it took 20 seconds, 30 seconds because you are querying, the querying take too much time. So this partial iteration will improve that performance. So yeah, like right now, this partial iteration is working, but not this preserve file download cache because due to some issues, so build is failing. So I've tried to put this into one, which I will fix that. But yeah, so this will be happening. Like once this build issues are been fixed, we can go forward with this. So it might increase the building time also, because you don't have to always download the dependencies. So yeah, this was 3 PS, and next which I'm working on is upgrading the MTX version. This can't be a which can be a long process because when you go to layer 5. So yeah, like for the context, next upgrade is required is the plugin of Gatsby plugin MTX. All the MTX files which we use, basically mostly we use MTX files here. There are like 1200 plus files which have to be formatted and indented properly. So if you go to this SRC collections, basically all MTX files are in here, and basically this integrations. So this all had to be sourced and like properly, and sorry, not this. Yeah, these MTX files. Yeah, so I'm like trying to set up of the configurations, everything. And yeah, like it's kind of in the process to upgrade this version. So if anybody else wanted to work on this, or anybody else wanted to like have interest on this migration, please let us know in the Slack channel of Layer 5. Get you onboarded with some work. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your updates, Sudhanshu. So a quick heads up for folks attending this call. Our specific Layer 5 repository that you can see here is built on top of Gatsby as a framework. And there has been an ongoing issue of a bunch of contributors trying to come in and contribute and help in migrating Gatsby from a certain version to an updated version. And Sudhanshu is pioneering this area at this moment. So if you're someone who's interested in the migration, let's say with the Gatsby or the MDX migration, feel free to drop in your interest and he'd be happy to help and assign you with a couple of issues to get started with. And for the others on the call, just so that we have a good notion, if you feel that you've got some queries and questions, either add it in the chat, or if you have some feedback to offer to the presenter who's sharing their issue, feel free to unmute and share your peace of mind. We'd love to take in and incorporate your feedback. So it's irrespective if you're someone who's here for the very first time or you've been a consistent contributor to the project. feel free to share your thoughts. That really helps. And thank you a bunch, Sudhanshu. I'll take over the screen sharing. And just to confirm, if there are any feedbacks from folks, do let me know. I took over Sudhanshu's screen without a pause, so I'll probably wait for a second or two and see if we've got something that someone wants to share with respect to the different PRs that Sudhanshu shared. Okay, I'll take that as a no, and we proceed with this particular issue that Vivek has in hand. So, Vivek, do you mind sharing?
No, I don't. So hopefully my screen is visible. So I'll be
Yes, it
starting
is.
sharing. Yeah,
Mhm.
so, and I'll also be quickly dropping the link in chat for the pull request. And so setting the context, if you have not, do visit Layer 5 IO pricing. So it gives you detail about various plans and subscription details, features in different categories. And so we also have one open source version. So if you are, owner or a contributor for open source community, and if you want to use Layer 5 tools and would want to apply for Layer 5 sponsored open source program, for that specifically, this is a page where, some details that we would want to know about your project is asked in the form. And once you submit, it's sent for a review period. So, and that could depend based on the influx that we are getting for such requests. So yeah, the PR was all about adding this page itself and the form that you all can see. So I would appreciate any feedback that you may have. I have already shared the link to this PR in chat, and you can navigate to this page. So I also will take this preview link and will drop that as well in chat.
Yeah, Vishal, it would be wonderful if you could share some insight on how this form works, probably the automated flow that we have. Just an overview might help folks
Yeah,
understand.
so perfect. So we have different kind of form in the site and like other systems too, but let's restrict our discussion to the site itself. So we use make.com, which was previously known as Integromat, if I'm pronouncing that name correctly, and they handle various scenarios for us. So as soon as you fill this form, there is a common form component in the site. So I should be able to bring that up. In SRC, and then component should be there somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Yep. So this common form handles various kind of form for us, like sign up form, previously for mesh map, and then various other forms as well, like I guess Docker extension form that is on the site. And by the way, if you want to know more about that, I'll also be opening that. So I think this is the one. So this is a blog, but we don't have option for filling a form for this. So let me also quickly take a look at products, and from there we can okay, no, so I think it's projects.
You can go up to handbook. In our handbook, in the writing program, we tend to have a couple of forms, or the other programs.
I think I got it. So yeah, there's another form, right? And these are all being maintained by the common form. And so in this particular PR, I have added some additional fields that you can take a look at into this PR. And then once you submit the form, it takes all the data that you are just submitting, and also it takes note of which kind of form it is. So if you are submitting the form on Docker extension page, it knows that it's coming from Docker extension page, and it will handle that accordingly. But if you are submitting this open source form, it takes all the data that you filled in and also the form type, and then it invokes the make.com workflows that we have, and we have logic there to handle all the flow that we would want in any way. So I think that is it, that anyone who would be interested to know will need to know about this. But yeah, I would be happy to give any more insight, if you have any specific ask, anyone on the call. But talking about this program itself, yep, After you submit it, the Layer 5 team, they review your request, and if everything goes to the plan, they will get back to you with the details. So
Thank you so much for sharing this, Vishal. I'm afraid we do not have folks who currently probably have a feedback or question on this, but really appreciate the entire make.com workflow that you've created, and then this form by integrating all of those. So thanks a bunch. We probably have Ajay on the call next. So Ajay, just a quick confirmation, Vishal, do you want to share any other issue that you might have? Or do you want to wait for us to hop onto that particular website?
yeah, you're right. So I have items in different websites. So when the time comes, I will.
Thank you so much. So Ajay, the clock's ticking and we're waiting. So if you're ready, please feel free to go ahead and present your screen. Else do let me know in the chat section, and we can probably wait to, circle back to you in a bit if you want.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're loud and clear.
Okay, so the issue which I was working on was that on the Layer 5 website, there was a SVG file, right? And in that SVG file, there was a PNG file within it. So what I did was I just removed that SVG file within that. Okay, let me share my screen first.
That'd be wonderful.
Oh, sorry, I'm not able to share my screen.
No worries.
If
I
you-
could probably bring it up ASAP.
Okay. So, yeah. So when you go to the Layer 5 website, I think there's the link attached with this issue. I think Lee has opened the issue and has attached that link, right? So what in that SVG file there was a PNG file, so I just removed it because it makes it really difficult to manipulate those SVG files, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, and later on, what I did was I thought that there must be some mistake by another developer. There was an import commented out, right? So I thought
Yes.
that there would be mistake. So I started. What I did was I removed that comment and started to make the pictures adaptable to dark and light mode, right? So, but that was not that was a very big problem because it makes the UI very inconsistent. So I thought, where can we make this more cool, right? So when I go to the catalog page on the Layer 5 website, there was the 3D spinning, right? So
Yes.
I thought, if we can make it more better by adding dark images, right? So it will look more better on the website. So I started manipulating all those SVG files and added it and make 3D spinning look cool. So that was it from my side. You can go to my PR on GitHub, and you can check on the deployment.
Deployment preview. Sure. Just. Yep. Really appreciate this task of changing this particular SVG. I was one of the initial contributors who came in and gave
Yeah.
up. So
Yeah.
thank you so
So-
much. And we are here. Apologies. Here we go. And if so this is how it looks in the dark theme, and this is how it
Yes, yes,
was
yes.
earlier.
Yes,
Here's
yes.
a side-by-side difference for
Yeah.
to check this out, and like for both the themes, and then perfect. Yeah. So any questions or feedback that folks might have for this particular issue that Ajay has been working on? I'll quickly open the file changes that have been made. so that if there is anyone who happens to have a query or some suggestion in here as well. Perfect. So it looks like we do not happen to have any questions, and it's crystal clear. Thank you so much, Ajay. We'll probably wait a moment or two for Lee to review this, and yep. In the meantime, I'll go through and check if we've got anything else that isn't in place and you might have to change. But this would suffice for now, and thanks a bunch. Yep. I would probably move ahead with the next site that we tend to have. So you all checked out what we happen to have in layer5.io. We also happen to have another page inside the Meshri repository, which is meshri.io. I'll quickly try to get that up. Yeah, just a second, please. We should have meshri.io up here as well. I'll add. So here's the repository, and this is the particular page that you can check out. So we'll be covering up the next set of issues that we have folks working on. So I guess, Vishal, you're leading this race with Meshri.io. So if you're willing and ready, please go ahead.
Yeah, so if you are to build a site locally, so it's a Jekyll site, and as you run this command, make site. So, and by the way, if you are not aware how you are, how you can serve the site and how you can get it running, we have that all the instructions in somewhere in the guidelines in contributing.md. So feel free to take a look at that. So basically, if you are running this site right now, you will see this deprecated warning for Sass and the built-in functions and import statement that is there. They are deprecated. And so I was working on it in this site today, and so I thought I'd be fixing it. So this PR is an attempt in that only. So we have to replace all the import instances with at the rate use, and then also so the way the variables work throughout the Sass, it also has changed. So now we will explicitly need to be importing that particular SCSS in order to use the variable that that particular SCSS file has. So this PR is all about that, and as you can see, this is the entry point of the SCSS. I mean the Sass in the site, and we just replaced the import with use. So this PR is all about that. I'll be dropping this link, and do check it. I mean, I'm going to give it a try, and if at any place in the site any styling is breaking, so that would be something you would want to highlight in this thread of the PR in GitHub. So, yep, I'll be waiting for any kind of feedback. Let's wait for 5 to 6 seconds. All right. So once again, I'll stress that if you get a chance to take a look, and if you come across any styling errors across any section on the site, please do communicate through website channel or just in the GitHub comment. That would be very helpful. And once again, the link to this PR is in chat. Next up, I have another item on Meshri.io itself, and that is I'll be quickly taking you to that particular PR. Yep, I think this is it. And I'll also be dropping this link in chat. So if you right now visit Meshri.io's catalog, so there are a couple of systems where we have a public-facing catalog of designs of cloud native infrastructure and various templates and other kind of filters as well. Currently, we only show designs by default. So these are designs categories, as you can see, and then you also can take a look at them, through the technology. So for example, if you take a look at this AMD GPU, you see there are 7 designs. You can actually go and take a look at in detail on all of the designs. I will not be going into that, but this PR that I am discussing is introducing another filter type that would be pattern type. So how it looks, let's quickly take a look at that. I have my deploy preview open. And by the way, all the PRs that we have on different sites, we have a system where it automatically, creates builds the site using your changes, and it will give you a link which you can take a look to, see what your changes, have done. So I will also, yeah. So this is what it looks like after my changes in the PR. And as you can see, it says about pattern types. And initially we had thought we will be having 4 pattern types. With the 4 would be WASM filter, designs, models, and then policies. But we do not have any policy right now. So I thought it would be better if we just exclude that for now. Right now, there's just WASM filters, design, and models. And yeah, as you can see, the count of them, it's right here. And you now simply can take a look at them by selecting them. For example, if I check for designs, and let me also share that the by default behavior is that whatever designs are there, and whatever category of the pattern is there, they will be loaded 9 at a time. And this is to ensure that if you're using browsers like Safari, it doesn't crashes your browser. So that is the default behavior. And yeah, if you just are interested into taking a look at designs, you simply can click on this, and then you can keep on using the technologies filter and also categories. And same is true for models. As you can see right now, there is only just one model, and it's also hand curated. But yeah, we would be having a lot more as the data will be available. And same is true for WASM filters. So that would be it about all the changes. I will now be also dropping this preview link in chat. So feel free to offer any feedback or suggestions that you may have. Let's once again wait for 6 to 7 seconds before we move on to the next item.
Vishal, I do happen to have a query. So if you head up to the deployment preview, for these WASM filters, below, we only happen to show their icons. Is there anything else that you think would help the user a bit more? Because some sort of description. So just wanted to confirm if it's a to-do, or we can add something in here, because you happen to have the icon on top of the card, and then even below it's just the icon. So it breaks the flow with the other things that we happen to have.
Do you mind specifying more? I think I didn't get your question. So
Oh yeah.
are you
So
talking
if
about
you
this?
take a look at yes.
Yeah.
So we've got the icon. So if you check on designs or the other models that we have throughout the
There's
catalog,
the ID.
yeah,
There's
we
the ID,
happen to
right?
have the IDs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so at one instance, we did have this discussion, and this ID itself was deemed not relevant. So this is also need to be let go. And so I think for now, we would just be removing this one, and it makes sense. It does make sense to remove this one, as we already have that one above. But for design cards, I think we will simply be removing this for now. And on the WASM filters one, we can keep the bigger one, but removing the smaller one.
that makes a lot of sense. Another question would be, this particular site is built on top of Jekyll, if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah.
what are we using for these numbers that we are displaying, the number count beside every pattern and technology, the black circle with?
Correct. So that's all fine. I'll quickly take you through that. So let's take a look at the file system of this site. And as Ankita mentioned, it's a Jekyll site, and it uses a particular set of file structure that you would see throughout all the projects and sites that are on Jekyll. It has a concept of collections. So, Jekyll also supports data intensive sites. Like you may be having e-commerce site and you have a lot of catalog items. For us, we have different type of collections like the catalog, contributors, extension, and there are any number of other collections. Let's quickly take a look. And as you can see, underscore catalog, it's one of the nomenclature in how Jekyll recognizes the collections. Let's quickly take a look at this collection that is catalog one. Now it has subdirectories, and under them it has markdown files. So the beauty of Jekyll is that you simply can have your data in markdown format, very easy to edit and manipulate. And that is all you need to do. The system and framework that Jekyll provides you, you can then style them and can have them in any format you want to. So for us, whatever collection we do have, we dump them all into this particular underscore catalog collection. And from here, we leverage Jekyll's features. So if we talk about the models and the page I was just showing you all, how these all are populated. So we have all our data in this folder, and models is also now moved to this one itself. So if you go to my PR and take a look, you will see that models are also now part of catalog itself, right? Yeah. And so the data is in this. I think I have made that very clear. I have repeated it like 4 times. Now, like how we handle to showing the markup on that page that you just saw. So we go to once again collections, and this is a collection of pages, various pages that we have, and we have catalog.html right here. And this, as you can see, it has a permalink of underscore slash catalog, and that is basically this page, as you can tell, under slash catalog. And here, like, it has a styling for this particular page, and then also it goes through all the files that is in catalog collection. It basically runs a for loop. So as you can see right here, it assigns, so site.catalog is basically the collection of catalog that we just saw, and then it loops through that. So you would find for loop somewhere, yeah, right here. So for pattern in catalog, just like you do for I in or int element in any array in Java or something. Similarly in Liquid, which is a underlying language for Jekyll, it uses that, and the pattern that you see, it's just one single markdown file from that catalog collection. And now, based on what field does it have, it has some logic about categorizing them as either design or model or WASM filter. In fact, I have that in my PR, and I can quickly also show you that. So it would be under catalog.html right here, yeah. So yep, as you can see, it has pattern type model, and this is the logic of how it is determining that. Similarly for WASM filter and for design. So once it figures out all the data, it has them in this particular page. Now, like how we manipulate it, so you can see we only show 9 at a time. So if you're loading this page for the very first time, only 9 cards are shown at a time, and we are doing that through JS, and that file is listed into includes. Includes are, once again, you can think of them as a reusable component that you can use throughout your site. So there's include that says patterns filter.html, and this is a very long page, and it has all the JS logic on how we manipulate. And so basically we get, after we get all the content on this page, we do everything that we want to do and that you see in this page through this particular file. So once again, if you are someone who would want to take a look into the logic of it, I think I would recommend you to go and take a look. I've also, I think, already shared the link in chat for this particular PR, and know that for this particular page that is in GitHub, I'll be sharing the link. And many contributors have been working on this, enhancing this. So do take a look at it, and if you think there could be any enhancement that would help us, so feel free to submit a pull request onto that also. So it has all the comments and logic around how we show cards.
Thank you so
Any
much for
other
sharing
specific
this.
question?
Apologies to interrupt you. Yep. We'd probably wait for a second or two for any other questions or suggestions folks might have, or you can even add it in the chat section and we'll take that up. Thank you so much for sharing this, Vishal. It's really helpful for a bunch of folks who are here who might be interested in contributing to this area and segment. And just a heads up, if you're someone who's interested in contributing to this particular repository or area of the project, then feel free to reach out to Vishal, because he's a maintainer for this particular segment, and he's the best person to help you guide through. If you happen to have any issues that you find or enhancements that you want to suggest, as he mentioned, feel free to add it in the issues section, and he'd probably be there to review it and help you go through it and even contribute. So I'm afraid we do not.
I'll just simply mention one thing. So someone was mentioning about good first issues. So yeah, we do have a lot of them, and you will find, in fact, a dedicated meeting for that on Newcomers channel that happens every Thursday. So make sure you join that. And as I was navigating through the sites and pages on this particular website, I just came across this one. So there's this chip, but its visibility has some styling issues. So let's quickly take a look at it in the light mode. As you can tell, like, it is not very theme friendly, as I think you cannot very, I mean, in a good way, you can see this. So it would be helpful if you could first open an issue, and for that you can just navigate to the GitHub repo that is linked in the footer. And or if you just want to send us direct pull request for this, you also can do that and tag either Ankita or myself or Stanshu. We'll be making sure that we get that merged. But yeah, basically the ask is to improve the visibility of this chip in both the theme dark and light. So anyone who'd want to volunteer, Ankita, I think they can just simply sound off right now or later.
Exactly. Yep. You'll be improving the legibility of the site, both for you and for us, and for the future contributors and folks who'd be working. So feel free to add, either raise your hand or probably add your name in the chat or unmute and let us know that you want to work on this issue, and I'll ensure it's assigned to you right away before this call ends. I guess the clock is ticking and we're running out of time, so we will probably take your volunteering in the chat section, or you can open up the issue as well. Thank you so much, Vishal, once again. I think we have Ajay on the list up next. So, Ajay, do you mind sharing your screen again and taking us through, or do you want me to, take everyone through?
Oh, sorry, I'm not able to share my screen because of some problem.
Yeah, no worries.
Uh,
I can quickly take us through this. So,
yes. Yeah. Can you kindly open Meshri.io catalog? Yes, this was the issue. I think catalog. Meshri.io/catalog. Yeah. So just click the first part. Yes. So there is a missing. Yeah, there is a missing in the technologies. There is the missing image. So I just fixed all those images which are missing on the Meshri.io site. Yes, when you will inspect this, you will find that there are some missing images. Okay. So yeah. And
so please go
so I
ahead.
just fixed it. And
This looks pretty straightforward and clear. I think I'll assign someone. I'll review this PR and probably we can merge,
yeah.
or I'll probably request Vishal to quickly give it a glance and we can go ahead and see what else should be done. But thanks a bunch for fixing that. It seems you do happen to have, so that would wrap up all of our Meshri.io PRs. You do happen to have an issue open inside Meshri docs. So would you mind taking us through it, and then we can proceed with the assistant open
Okay,
issue?
so on the Meshri docs contributing page, when I was going through that page, I find that there is no guide to set up the development environment on GitHub Workspaces side. GitHub Workspaces has pretty large user base, so I thought if we have a guide added for the GitHub Workspaces to set up the development environment, it will be very nice. I just added a guide.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you've added a section in the contribution docs
Yes,
of how someone can use code spaces. Perfect. This looks good. You might as well probably add something like an image or a clip or a snippet of it. But this looks good to me. I can quickly review this and get that merged for you. But yes, any feedback or review folks might have for Ajay at this point. I'll open the preview link and take us through. So you happen to have it inside our contribution. How are we going to get back up here? We have it inside of build and release. I'm not sure about this specific section here. Just a second. Okay. Yep. It's project contribute. And Thank you. I'll probably check this and add the preview link specific to this thing. But thanks a bunch for sharing this, Ajay. We'll ensure it's merged. It really helps. Any feedback or review someone might have for Ajay on this, I'll probably pause for a second and two. So Meshri docs is where we specifically have the documentation present for Meshri or anything in and around Meshri. We also happen to have another docs page, but that deals with Canvas and Cloud. This specifically deals with Meshri, and you will find the code for this inside our Meshri/Meshri repository, a link to which I'll be adding in a bit. And if you head up, get this, and go up to the docs section, you'll find the code written for docs. And this one is again written in Jekyll. So here's a link.
Sorry,
Oh, thanks a bunch.
wait a minute. That was Meshri docs. Sorry. It was Meshri
Yeah.
docs, not Meshri.
Yes. This was inside Meshri docs. This thing, Meshri/Meshri. Yep. So I guess with that we have wrapped up our docs.meshri. Oh yeah. Oh, I completely understand now what you mentioned, but yep, that's okay, Ajay. We don't tend to have any other issues left inside docs at this point, so we'll move ahead with Systent, which is our design system. And we've had a bunch of contributors contributing and improving this particular page. You can find our Systent repository up here. And I guess we happen to have one of our pioneers, Vidit, also who's helping Sudhanshu to maintain this particular page. So Shivankur or Ankur, please correct me if I'm wrong, because the last time you mentioned I added an extra U to the name. So
No, that was correct. Shivankar.
perfect. So would you like to take us through the radio component? Do you want me to share my screen, or would you
Uh,
like to go ahead?
Yeah, there's not much. As I shared on the Slack channel, I was unable to set up Layer 5 website
Okay.
because my laptop's resources were like exhausting, and I was getting error 137. Uh, I guess I had a small chat with Sudhanshu also there. So today I figured out how to set it up on Gitpod. I have made some changes, and you might be expecting a PR by tonight. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Just a quick overview for a bunch of folks in here. Probably Vidit might add a bit more to it after he presents. So we happen to have these Systent components that a bunch of contributors are willing in to come and help us maintain. They're adding, take up any single, because it's a design system, so take up any single component from our design system, add an overview, a guidance, and a code section for it, highlighting about it. And yep, that's pretty much what we want, or that's pretty much what a bunch of these Systent issues have to do or deal with. I'll probably add, we have a bunch of open issues in this segment, so I'll add these here. If you're someone who's new or contributing for the very first time, feel free to go through these, add a comment in any of the issues that you see contributors haven't attended for a while, or haven't worked on at all, and ask us to be assigned, and we'll be happy to assign it to you. I wouldn't take the spotlight from Vidit, and rather have him come up and first of all go with his issue, and then proceed with anything he'd like to share for the new contributors. So Vidit, do we have you here?
I'm sharing my screen.
Perfect.
Hi Vidit. Just one question. Yeah, it's for Vidit and Sudhanshu. So we are adding components. Like I am working on Radio Group, and in the content.js we have to add ID for the component, right? So I just found that there is no specific number mentioned for each component. So like in the last meeting, Adil was working on I guess multiple selection or something, and he had ID 13 that I saw in the meeting. So I put ID 14 for my radio group, but can we do something that will, clear the doubts for further anyone who is contributing to the website? Like in the issue itself, we can mention some ID number, key, use ID number 15 or 16, 17, so that there'll be no confusion for others. Yeah.
So I would like to that like if there is ID 12 already mentioned in the content on JS, you should proceed with the one increment in the ID as another PR will be merged. There will be a merge conflict between your PR and their PR, like main master branch. So from there we can update resolve the merge conflict and update the ID of like from 13 to 14. So yeah.
Yeah, understood. Okay.
So I have added a panel component to the system as we have a panel component which we are using across the canvas. This is a panel component, and that has been added to the system to be make it ensure that it is the same across the all layer 5 projects apart from the canvas. So this is a PR for that. Under this PR, I have used like two more like packages. So one is resizable and React React, which are both compatible with both with the current tech stack we are using. So I have we have a code for the panel into the canvas, and I have like copy and paste into the system with some modification and different variations. And Amit has provided some suggestions to have remove the inline styling and convert it into style components. So this is a PR, and I would like to share into the chat. So any like suggestions or you like to make?
Sudhanshu, you might have a word or two to offer, maybe, for this particular issue.
What is this resizable? Okay, the panel for.
Resizable resize the panel of like a container of the panel.
So have you seen that this panel component if in MUI? So is it used this in somewhere this same package for dragging and that thing? Have you gone through their documentation?
Yeah, I don't.
Or they use some custom or another thing?
Yeah, they use their like custom hooks and thing, and I don't think they have like we are using a custom panel and MUI. We don't use a MUI panel into the canvas. So Lee has asked.
Okay,
like,
so at panel okay, that you are adding in system for canvas one. Okay, like yeah, then makes sense. If we can discuss in that call. But yeah, I was thinking like you are adding a component in somewhere there. But okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's my
So have you built and tested in there?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
tested into the sites.
And okay.
Layer 5 IO.website.
To check this, there's no conflict between these packages here and the canvas. So like this is the normal dependency, right? It is not dependent on canvas. No, it is not dependent on canvas, or it is dependent on canvas. These two packages.
Yeah, it depends on only these packages. It does not depend on the canvas. Anything else.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your feedback, Sudhanshu, and thank you for working on this with it. We can probably continue on this in the other call as well. And yep. So folks, as I mentioned, we have a bunch of these open good first issues inside Systent. If you're someone who works, if you're new to the community, and if you're someone who works in the UI segment of things, this would be an ideal place for you to start. I will take over with its screen sharing at this point and probably take all of us through a couple of other things that we might have. So there are a couple of pages that we or websites that we haven't covered in today's call because we didn't have issues. But in the meantime, we will be going through, all of these other pages up here, which people contribute to or contributors come across. You can always click on the website meeting minutes and click on this and go through and surf across those pages. But I'll take a moment to mention that if you happen to be stuck in a situation and you feel that someone in the Slack community hasn't actively responded to your query, maybe regarding setting up something, maybe regarding a general question of how things work, please feel free to come up to our discussion forum. I'll add a link to our discussion forum in the chat. You can refer to this, come up here, search for your question, and rest assured, there might be someone who has already answered this or might have asked this particular question in the past and has received an answer that would be far more quicker and helpful for you. Additionally, if you do not happen to find an issue that matches to your description, then please feel free to add or open up a new topic, mention the details and send it across, and someone from the community will ensure that you have felt heard and answered. But more or less, most of the things that you might have will get resolved either on these calls that we have or on Slack. But yeah, if you need something that's quick and swift, be here. You'll definitely find someone must have answered some of the other question of yours. This holds true for all of the pages that we have, some that we haven't even covered in this particular call. And apart from that, I'll also add a link to our community calendar, which deals with, all the meetings that we tend to have in a week or in a span of a week. You can check the schedule, you can add it to your calendar directly. So we've had this call today on Monday, which is 6:30 p.m. IST, my time, and 7 a.m. CT, the Central Time. So we also happen to have some other calls, especially the Meshri development call that's coming up on Wednesday. This would be something that might be of your area of interest. If you're someone who is working with, the Meshri repository specifically, which is this one here. It's not the Meshri docs, like we'll cover the Meshri docs here, but the other components, models, issues that you might deal with inside Meshri. So we also happen to have, probably we had Matthew and the others on the call who are dealing with some of the other things that we cover up in the Meshri call, which is some UI migrations that Sudhanshu and I are overlooking, and the Meshri CTL commands that Matthew takes care of. And then we have some other things, let's say, all those CI testing things that other folks are spearheading. So if you think that's your cup of tea and that's your area of interest, please feel free to join that call on Wednesday. You have the calendar link in the chat. You can add it to your calendar, come across and check and see how things work, and probably get assigned another issue from that area. And as you know, we have a newcomers call every Thursday. So if you're a newbie and you haven't had a chance to go through this, please go ahead and join that call, because that will give you an in-depth guide of how the different projects work, who's maintaining what, how do you go about things, and that would help you. And then we definitely have the CNCF Tag Network meeting. So if that's something that's of your area of interest, feel free to join. It doesn't happen every Thursday, so you might want to take a look into the calendar and see what works. But we do have a build and release meeting for folks who are a lot into that area and segment. So that would be all. We are a bit over time, and I apologize for that. But thank you so much for joining this call. We bid you adieu for today and see you in the next call. Hoping to see a bunch of other folks come up with their issues. If you have anything to discuss, any questions or any assignment that you want, feel free to reach out to us throughout the entire week's time span until we meet the next time inside the websites channel on Slack, and we'll be happy to help you out. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in again. Wishing all of you a very happy new year that's coming up next. So the last call of the year for our websites meeting, and that would be it. Hope you have a great evening and day ahead.
Thank you for hosting.